Hey guys, welcome back to Rossoneri TV. I'm Gio and I'm here with Marco Messina to review the quarterfinal match between Germany and Italy in the Euro 2016, where the match finished in penalty shots. Germany victorious there, finally ending their drought against the Italians. And what to say from this? Disappointed a bit, definitely gutted. We all knew it was going to be a tough match. Marco, we mentioned it yesterday. It wasn't going to be a walk in the park. It wasn't going to be the game like we had against Spain. This was a whole different team, a whole different game, probably the toughest game that we were going to encounter either way, despite if we're going to progress in the tournament or not. This was probably going to be the toughest game of them all. I think we played pretty good. I think we stick to the plan. There was, of course, a lot of pressure from the Germans, a lot of possession, but they rarely troubled Buffon, and I think the defense and the midfield did a quite good job to contain them. They weren't really unbalanced, and that is what I think was the ultimate key to success that led them to actually even go as far as extra time or penalty shots. But in the end, just gutted to be eliminated on penalties. It's always a bad feeling. What were your thoughts on the match, Marco?
I mean, it's always tough to lose, man. But this team, I agree with you. And my head is held high, though, as an Italian. And watching these 23 guys led by a war general, on the field, spit blood, gave everything they had. The worst Italian team ever, the worst generation of Italians went out in penalty kicks to the world champions. And I'm really proud of them. And I think it was so even. And throughout the match, both teams so tactically sound. And for it to go to penalties, it's rough. But if you played this game tomorrow, I think it could have been a different result. Could have easily went Italy's way. It's football, man. It's cruel.
Yeah. Some people were actually saying that maybe the game wasn't the most spectacular of games. But if you're a tactician,
tactician,
if you look at the tactics, this game was beautiful game. Honestly speaking, I think both teams played the tactics as they should have done.
I absolutely
and I think that this game could have went either way. People could even say that Italy were a bit lucky to even get to extra time if it wasn't for that handball from Boateng. But in these games, specifically in these games, it's just little events, little mistakes.
Yeah, exactly.
That change everything.
Exactly.
That just change everything. And it's so unpredictable at times. You could even be the most favorite of teams, like we've seen so many times in this tournament, and yet you could still walk home empty-handed at the end of the day. And I think Germany is probably going to win this tournament.
Yeah.
I like I mentioned yesterday, whoever is going to win this game is most likely going to take it. And I think Germany is going to win the cup after this game. They're probably either going to play, they're most probably going to play France, but you never know.
You never know
with Iceland. And I think Germany is obviously the superior team to all the teams that are remaining in this tournament.
I'm with you on that one, Gio. I think this was the final, to be honest with you. I think Italy and Germany, the two best teams in this Euro. Respect to the other teams, respect to Iceland, France, Wales, and Portugal, but they were so smart, both teams, to me, geniuses. And if UEFA wasn't how it was, I think we could have easily seen Italy on the other side of the group, Germany on this side, and playing in the final, and it would have been epic. I wish the Germans the best. Great opponent, never gave up. Nothing stupid from them. I respect it, and it's hard. It's hard, but like as you said, this Italian team made me proud. They really gave hope to the country as well. If you saw, even the newspapers were writing like, "Oh, we need to follow Conte's mentality in life, like as a country."
Yeah,
and it's so true. They never gave up. What team in the world can lose 5 key players? Marchisio, Verratti, De Rossi, Thiago Motta, and I'm missing someone else. I don't know who I'm missing. Candreva.
Yeah.
What team can miss those players and compete with the world champions, going to penalties, and be unlucky? An Antonio Conte team. That's the team.
That's exactly what I mentioned on Twitter. I mean, I'm just so proud of this Italian team that was able to actually knock out the reigning European champions, Spain, from the competition, and almost beat the World Cup champions. Like, imagine.
In penalties.
And we went all the way to penalties, and we didn't even have like
All
you
those
said,
players.
all those players missing in the midfield.
Imagine.
So I'm just saying, imagine we actually had those players. Who knows? They could have made a difference, or maybe
Yeah.
they might not even make the difference. But at the end of the day, you have to give credit to this Italian team for the tactics that they showed. I think everyone
Exactly.
that actually followed the Euro on a daily basis could tell you at the end of the day that Italy was one of the teams that maybe didn't entertain the most, but was one of those teams that didn't just play to play. They didn't just
Yeah.
pass and kick a ball. They
Yeah.
actually studied each opponent and they played as
Exactly.
a group, as a unit.
It was beautiful to me. I think my favorite part of this tournament was seeing people who were like, oh, Italy's going to go out to come back to me like, wow, I did not expect that from Italy. Like, they actually went out there to play. Like, yeah, you know, watching Conte and watching him build this family, because it was a family above all. Before he chose the players for skill-wise, he chose the man, you know. And we had those men on the field that they never gave up, and they did everything. And like you said, you know, I don't want to call out any names, you know, who could have done better, who could have, because we win as a group and we lose as a group. And I think, like I said, it's hard to talk about the game, to be honest with you. You know, when it comes down to this, like, it could have went either way. The important thing is that this Italy went toe-to-toe with the world champions, with a team who should have blown us out because this is the worst Italian team ever, you know? And I think that says a lot about the team as a whole. Every single player, every coach, every assistant deserves credit for this.
Well, to think of that, actually, Marco, to comment on that, I actually read someone on Twitter said this Germany team was able to put 7 past Brazil in that World Cup 2014. And just imagine, Italy didn't even have all these players. They were missing the whole midfield. And look at that. We were actually able to contain them tactically, maybe not outsmart, but actually play a very good game. And
it came down to details.
You know, that's exactly what it is. It's details. It's little mistakes, little deflections, like we saw on. It's a bunch of things. At the end, they sum up, and unfortunately, the Italians were on the losing side today. But
this time.
Yeah, I definitely hope people I start seeing a lot of. I don't want to get too much in the confrontation with some people saying that Conte this, Conte that, but at the end of the day, you know, maybe he didn't make the most. Some decision making wasn't the best, maybe like in terms of players. But at the end of the day, you could see that each player was who they were. They actually gave their 100%.
He gets the best out of his players. I've never seen a coach, you know, rile his men up. You know, Vieri even said it. You hear Ancelotti say he's the best coach in Europe, and you think like how some people can still criticize. You know, I can understand criticism. You know, everyone in the world will get criticized for anything, and we're never all gonna agree on who to choose when there's so many players. But listen, to me, the results spoke for themselves, and Conte built a nation. He gave a nation, you know, something to believe, and I'm proud of him, and I like that there's been almost a revolution in people outside of just the Serie A fans who saw him, who didn't see him with Juventus, you know, starting to be like, wow, this guy Conte is good, or this guy Bonucci is a good player. Like, starting to see Italians have some skill, hard.
Yeah, I was actually about to say that. I think a lot of people finally realized that Italy is just not a team about maybe one player or two players. They actually saw and experienced and witnessed what some of these players and who they are, really. Some players that probably people, when they saw the list, like, who's this, who's that?
Who's Giaccherini, who's Studaro?
Yeah, and they finally saw what the Serie A could bring to the table as well. And like Buffon said, this tournament was a big wake-up call to what Italy could do soccer-wise. And I think he really hit the nail there on that comment.
Someone, I think it was a Premier League fan, he actually messaged me, and he's like, yo, where have you guys been hiding these players, and where have you been hiding this spirit and Conte? And I'm like, yo, just come watch the Serie A. Like, that's how it, like, you don't see it like to this extent, but there's bits in these pieces that we've seen, and Conte was able to pick them out and put them together. And Italy's a nation of fantastic coaches and fantastic players who give their all, even if they don't have the skill. Because let's be honest, if you put these guys man for man against Belgium, against Spain, against Germany, they would have gotten 7 goals put past them. But they didn't think like that, you know? The unit and that Italian spirit really says a lot. And I hope non-Serie A fans or people who don't generally watch are able to come and see that that there is talent and there is skill.
Yeah, and also to think between all those teams that you mentioned, we played Belgium, Spain, Germany. We only conceded 1 goal out of all those 3 games. That's just a crazy statistic to think of it. When people didn't even give this team a chance to get out of the group stage, and
you're going to get out of the group.
Yeah, and you only concede 1 goal to all those 3 teams, scoring 5 against those 3 teams. That is pretty good numbers, I have to say. But I don't know. I just hope for the best for Conte. I think he's going to have a great time at Chelsea. And if any Chelsea fans are watching us on this video, I say consider yourself lucky to have such a great, enthusiastic manager, really, because he's going to do great things for your team, I believe.
Look what he made me do. Look, I'm freaking bleeding. I bled after celebrating. Like, Conte has gotten so much out of me, too. Like, I would have bled on that field and died for them. Amazing guy. Lucky Chelsea fans.
Yeah, I really respect him as a man and as a coach. But let's hope his successor, Ventura, will get something done once again. I don't know if he's going to have the same passion as Conte, but
you better jump over that bench too.
I think Conte is going to teach him a bit. But yeah, we'll see what happens with that, guys. But I hope you guys enjoyed the content that we provided you throughout these Euros concerning the Italian national team. It's something that you guys wanted at all costs, and we made it happen. So thank you guys for the support throughout these Azzurri videos. Also, don't forget to follow and subscribe to Italian Football TV. You can find the links once again in the description box. And once again, Marco, thank you for joining me on this video. I'll definitely see you once again very soon on the channel.
Thank you for having me, Gio. And thank you, too. Thank you for creating this, and thank you for opening up this platform to hear different opinions. You've done great, man. Seriously. Really proud.
Thank you so much, Marco. So, guys, that is it. Once again, thank you for watching. I'll catch you guys later for another video. Subscribe to Rossoneri TV. And as always, Forza Azzurri.